Chapter 10. The Final Stretch. The 6 ponies continued down the path to the castle. It wasn't long before Sakura used her staff to block the way of the other ponies. Do not continue unless you wish to be broke. Those leaves of blue are poison joke, Sakura said, pointing to the field of glowing blue power like plants. If you are to touch those leaves of blue, an ironic joke will be played on you. These plants are common in the Everfree, but so many at once is baffling to me. Trixie started snickering at the memory. This caught Flare's attention.
What are you laughing at?
Flares asked accusingly.
Poison joke is a serious thing.
I'm sorry. I don't mean any disrespect, Trixie said.
It's just I know about poison joke. When me and Twilight were fillies, we saw a plant in the royal garden that specifically had a sign, do not touch. Her curiosity got the better of her, and she got too close. For the next week, Twilight's horn was as limp as a wet noodle. It's not nice to laugh at poison joke,
Flare said, clearly failing to hold back her own laughter.
The jokes it plays are really mean.
Flare said, broke down laughing at the image Trixie gave of a unicorn with a floppy horn.
I'm not laughing at what happened to her, Trixie said. After all, we both panicked what happened. She was panicking more than me, but we were both traumatized. I just find it ironically funny that out of the two of us, it was her who broke the rules. Ever since then, Twilight has obsessively obeyed any rules, and now she has a fear of the color blue.
Trixie, question. Did Twilight willingly break the rules, or did you dare her? Flares completely broke down with tears of laughter. She felt guilty at laughing at the expense of somebody else, but she couldn't help finding the idea of somebody being afraid of a color funny.
Thanks to Princess Celestia, we also learned the cure, Trixie continued. It may have been a week before the princess found out, but at least we know the cure, or at least Twilight knows the cure. I never got around to remembering it.
Poison joke never grows this immense, Sakura said, and on the main path, it makes no sense. So it's another trap set by Nightmare Moon, Thunderlane continued. The only way we continue is either risk poison joke or go off the main path. I don't plan on walking through, so going off the path is what I do, Sakura said. But it's not my place to take away your voice. But as we vote, make a choice. As a Pegasi, Flares and I could fly over the poison joke, Thunderlane said.
Well, what Sakura has told me, I would not even fly over poison joke if I don't have to, Flares said. At least not an entire field.
I think a prank is preferable to possibly being attacked by every free creature.
I'd rather not find out what poison joke would do to me, Trixie said. Knowing my luck, it probably turned me invisible and inaudible.
Ooh, nice Trixieverse reference. Off the path, Ma said simply. Off the path wins, 4-2. Come this way, to the city through, Sakura said, pointing to the right, deeper into the dense forest. Stay close because, in the dead of night, the darkness defiles any and all light. Did you really need to say, Dad? Final groan. Are you kidding me? Twilight asked. Twilight was getting tired dealing with this noble. For starters, he absolutely refused to interact with any pony other than Twilight. So despite what they tried to negotiate, Twilight was on her own with this. That was just the beginning. The noble specifically wanted to talk to a Twilight, and Twilight only because he assumed she would be gullible. Most frustrating thing was that the world was in chaos with eternal night and a missing princess, and this noble came to Twilight assuming she'd be gullible, to ask if royal funds could be used to fund the construction of his beach house.
It makes perfect sense, the nobles insisted. If we're going to be stuck in eternal night for the rest of eternity, me having a beach house would mean that I could live pony spirits by throwing parties for others, and it's for that reason that such a selfless act should be rewarded by being funded by the crown.
Well, Trixie doesn't think we ever tried that voice before.
I didn't even know I could pull it off! And the most annoying thing about this novel isn't even the request for a beach house to be royally funded. The most annoying part that was absolutely refused to take no for an answer. Twilight had been taking part in this debate for over an hour now, and nothing about it had changed. For the 50th time, no! Twilight shouted. The royal treasury is not your personal piggy bank.
Please, I must ask you to reconsider.
You've asked me to reconsider 49 times, Twilight exclaimed, and every time the answer is the same. The only reason I've allowed this to continue as long as it has is to hope that perhaps I can convince you of being reasonable. You consider yourself ignored, that you are being allowed such time to say the same thing over and over again. But you have enough time. You can either leave now, or I can have the guards escort you out.
Just who do you think you are, talking to me like that?
The noble asked, not realizing he was getting himself into. I'm Twilight Sparkle. I've had Princess Celestia help raise me. My older brother is the captain of the Royal Guard, and I am the personal student of Princess Celestia herself. And currently, I'm in charge. Twilight said, Guards, escort this fool off the premises! Two of the guards approached the noble. They did their best to keep stoic, but they were impressed and entertained by how Twilight dealt with the false noble. They still had grins on their faces. As the noble was forcibly being escorted out of the palace, Prince Blueblight approached Twilight with an expression.
You have a level of patience that not even naughty Celestia has,
he said, dropping any formal titles.
That noble always gets on Auntie's nerves, but she will have kicked him out in about 20 minutes.
That could be because it doesn't take as long as I did to realize nothing would come of it, Twilight assumed.
Perhaps, Blueblight admitted, or perhaps he simply can't handle him that long. You were able to get him to break his quiet demeanor. That's something not even Auntie could do. You were able to hold your own quite well. Take pride in that.
Meanwhile, it was dark in the Everfree Forest, even on the main path. But while traveling out the path through the denser parts, the forest seemed unnaturally dark. It was a claustrophobia-inducing darkness. Even the unicorn's light spells seemed to struggle to pierce the darkness. But thanks to the combination of Sakura's expertise, and the unicorn's light spells, they were able to get through the dense forest faster than they expected. When they got to the end, however, they were met with 3 ponies in dark uniforms that resembled the uniforms in the Wonderbolts. The first was what appeared to be a Pegasus. Her wings were not the leathery wings of a normal Pegasus, but rather the leathery wings of a bat. The second appeared to be a unicorn, but his horn was curved and sharp. The third appeared to be an earth pony, but his coat seemed thicker. His ears had furry tufts at the ends. His hooves were not hooves at all, but had sharp canine teeth like a predator. See him alone? What are you doing here? I told you, you are not allowed here. You're only allowed back on the 7 days continuity.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make a cameo.
But yay, bat ponies!
Who are you?
Thunderling asked.
Some Nightmare Night themed Wonderbolt cosplayers?
Careful! Trixie exclaimed. Those aren't real ponies. They're magical constructs. They all turned to Trixie, whose eyes were glowing with magical clarity. Trixie was using her ability to see magic. The unicorn is correct for the most part, the Bat Pegasus confirmed. We are merely an extension of our queen's will. We've come as messengers. If you've got a message for us, then let's hear it, Final said. Our queen wishes to offer you 6 an opportunity of a lifetime, the Bat Pegasus continued. But first, let us introduce ourselves. Though we may be constructs, we are part of an elite group known as the Shadowbolts. She has been watching you, and how easily you got through the challenges in your way. Our queen recognizes your formidable strength. I'd also like to offer you the chance to ally yourselves with her, and become the new commanders of the Shadowbolts. So, she wants us to become evil so we don't kick our flank? Final asked. Do not underestimate our queen's power, the Bat Pegasus continued. She acknowledges you are a formidable force. She extends this offer to you because she deems you unworthy of being the Shadowbolts commanders. If you accept this offer, our queen will make sure that our every wish will be granted to you. Together we can reshape Equestria into a lunar empire. However, if you chose to oppose her, despite how formidable you may be, our queen can easily destroy the 6 of you. You do not need the answer yet. Our queen will allow you time to think your proposition over. When you come to the decision, she will be waiting for your answer in the old castle. You know, when Nightmare Moon did that offer with the Shadow Bolts, I wonder, did she have that offer ready for anybody who crossed that bridge? Like if Flutters did it, was she ready with the same Shadow Bolts, or did she have an offer of,
Oh, please join us for an animal reunion.
or Applejack with visions of an entire farm full of ever-growing fields? Or Rarity a chance to fix her tail? Or Pinkie Pie? What to offer Pinkie Pie?
Blink, 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 blink.
You know what? No, flip it. Off the cliff you go!
Whee!
Or even being Celestia for Twilight? That thought does occur to me. Because I know this was temptation. Which also probably means that Nightmare Moon was looking into each one of their souls as they were walking by. Or she also paid attention to each one of them and figured out their desires slowly as they walked across their adventure. That, or even as Luna, she still watched over everybody's dreams, even though she couldn't say anything from Nightmare Moon. Questions? With the message sent and the offer given, the three Shoutbolts dispersed into a cloud of smoke. You've got to admit, that does sound pretty cool, Final said, constantly terrified to glare at her. What? It's not like I'm going to turn evil. I'm just saying being the commander of an army, being called a Shoutbolt, it just sounds cool. If Nightmare Moon wants to the enemy, totally take her up on that offer. I think what Final's trying to say is what offer sounds cool, but it's not worth turning evil for, Thunderlane said. That is what you're trying to say, right, Final? Well, duh, Final said casually. Wasn't it obvious what I said? The poison joke we cannot beat, Sakura said, bringing the pony's attention to the canyon they come to. The bridge to the other side is beyond our reach. Well, we've got two Pegasi who can carry one pony each across the expanse, Thunderlane said, and then there's Trixie in the cloak of levitation.
Has anybody seen where Maud went?
Flares asked. The others realized they were missing one pony. We can take the stairs, Maud called out from the cliff, pointing to a set of stairs carved into the side of the cliff.
Huh, that's convenient,
Trixie said, as he followed Maud down the stairs. The other four followed suit. They returned at this crevasse, what acted as a clear path to the castle. The castle's surroundings were untouched by the everfree forest, making this the final trek to their destination. As they followed what came up to a dried up river, it was evident this trek had taken its toll.
Can we stop and rest?
Flares asked.
All four of my hooves are aching.
Trixie looked at Fireside's prosthetic hind legs.
You only have 2 full hoofs that can ache. Exactly,
Flares exclaimed.
I'm either so tired my prosthetics are tired, or I'm so tired that I miscounted because I can't think straight.
Do you ever think straight? Final asked. I feel like your thought process is less of a straight line and more of a zigzag.
Well, zigzags are made of straight lines,
Flares Karen. Flares my words like lightning, Thunderlane said. One quick flash and it's gone.
Exactly,
Flares exclaimed proudly, before her brows flared with confusion.
Wait, what's he saying?
Hey, look over there, Miles said. There's a cave over there. Let's see what's inside while we rest.
I'm sure it's nothing, Trixie said. Besides, time is of the essence.
But it looks like there's something glowing in there, Final Karen.
We can come back later to check on what's in there, Trixie said. For now, we have to defeat Nightmare Moon and save Oculus.
So they agreed time is not on our side, Sakura started. To avoid exhaustion, it's best if we take 5.
Considering how bad that rhyme was, perhaps we should take a short rest,
Final confusedly admitted. The 6 of them entered the cave to rest. Out of the 6 of them, Mom was the only one who didn't look tired. Then again, considering her lack of expression, for all any of them knew, she was the one who needed rest the most, although being an earth point made that highly unlikely. As they entered the cave, they saw an amazing sight. There was what appeared to be a crystal tree with magic so dense, you didn't even know how to sense magic to feel the magic radiating from this tree. was evidently old, its vines crawling around the trunk were any indication. For all my time in the Everfree, this is a sight I have yet to see, Sakura said. Trixie used her magic sight to look at the tree. It's like anything she hadn't seen before.
I don't know how to describe the magic I've seen,
Trixie said in awe.
It's like I'm looking at a song.
How could something look like a song?
Thunderling asked.
I don't know. I just don't know how else to describe it,
Trixie explained.
It's ambient magic, and a lot of it. But it has a frequency that only comes from unicorn spellcraft. Ambient magic cannot have a frequency. It's also pulsating to the ground in a way that earth-plane magic does. And the way it seems to be manipulating the ambient magic around is like Pegasus magic. It burns like dragonfire. It's just like Tinsley transformation magic. It's acting in so many ways that ambient magic doesn't.
From how you describe it, I can see how it would look like a song, File said with understanding. It has a frequency, constantly changing frequency. The bird could be like changes of volume. Pulsating would be like a beat. Manipulation of the surrounding magic's like how ponies dance to music. I wish I knew your magic sight spell. That's the inspiration I could simply get by seeing the magic of this tree.
There's a lot more happening, but that's the gist of it,
Trixie confirmed, ending her magic sight.
And each of the 5 branches are all pulsating in sync with each other. Those pulsations are traveling to the branches, and to the central point where they all meet. It's like core magic of this tree, being fueled by the branches, rather than the other way around.
I believe the magic acts as fuel, Sakura said. I feel vested for our upcoming tour. There's another set of stairs here, Maud said, pointing at a set of stairs deeper in the cave, and we're under the castle.
I guess stopping to rest found us a shortcut, Flare said. Stopping to rest was worth it,
Trixie sighed in resignation. The 6 of them headed up the stairs leading to the castle. If Trixie had been using her magic sight on her friends, she would have seen that their eternal magic was pulsing in time with the branches of the tree.
Those ponies think they might have rejected my offer, and I knew they would at time,
Nightmare Moon said to herself.
But by the time they arrive here, they'll take my offer.
Nightmare Moon did magic up a mirror illusion of the 6 talking with the shadow boats.
They're too loyal to Celestia to turn against her,
Nightmare Moon said with so much venom in the same name Celestia that would kill a dragon in seconds.
And that's why I didn't make them choose right away. The seeds of darkness I planted in them need time to bloom.
There's an illusion that reveals that the shadow boats were talking. Magical mist around the ponies. The 6 of them were breathing in that mist, planting the seeds of darkness.
Their most deepest, darkest desires will be brought up to the forefront,
Nightmare Moon continued.
And their offer to have their wishes granted to them will eventually result in the seeds putting out those dark desires, making my offer irresistible. If I let them answer them, they will subdue those thoughts. By not letting them answer right away, they'll end up thinking about the offer and what they desire.
The image showed the 6 down from Nightmare Moon as they transformed to nightmare forms of their previous selves.
And I am not a liar. I will grant their wishes,
Nightmare Moon continued.
At the cost of their free will, of course. They have become an extension of my own will, just like the shadow boats. The only difference would be I won't have to expend energy on creating them, or worry about them being dispelled.
The image changed to an image of 6 orbs.
I'll even offer the chance to either take the elements or accept my offer,
Nightmare Moon continued.
Even if they foolishly choose these elements over me, not necessarily are capable of using the elements is next to impossible. And even that is unlikely, given that they could use the elements.
Nightmare Moon stomped on the image of the 6th orb, causing it to advance.
They're useless without the element of magic. Either way, I win.
Oh god, I love playing Nightmare Moon.
Silver Spoon came to her mother crying.
What's wrong, dear?
Octavia asked as she embraced her daughter. Silver Spoon took off her glasses to wipe out the tears before answering.
Oculus, it's getting worse,
she cried. Rarity came over to hug Silver Spoon, as well as allow Octavia to check on the youngling. She like Silver Spoon didn't care who comforted her. She just needed to feel comforted. Octavia went on to check the Oculus. Silver Spoon was not lying. The first thing she noticed was how pale Akos had gotten. Her chitlin was gray, and though it wasn't a light-sided gray, it was light enough shade that she practically looked like a ghost when compared to her normal black chitlin. Then there was the shower of short labored gas. She was struggling simply to breathe. What scared the Celis, however, was how cold she felt to the touch. Her knowledge of changeling biology is about as extensive as bubblegum wrapper to an encyclopedia. Considering she had a fever earlier, it's safe to assume that changelings are endothermic. Even assuming that chitlin was a bad conductor of heat, and changelings had naturally low body temperature, she was certain that this was a lower than normal body temperature at best. But what she wasn't doing was suggesting the worst case scenario. Akos wasn't shivering. She saw Akos shivering earlier. So the possibility of changelings not shivering was off the table. How low body her temperature was, there was no reason for her to not be shivering, unless...
Will she be alright?
Octavia looked down to see that voice come from Rumble. The worry in his voice and look in his eye was distressing. He already knew the answer. The only reason he asked in hopes that it wasn't as bad as he thought it was. Octavia's ears folded back.
I honestly don't know.
It was the most optimistic answer she could give, without being a lie so blatant and her foes could see through it. But she didn't have the heart to tell him she thought her body was beginning to shut down.
I think all we could do now is to have faith in Trixie and the others. Hurry up, Final. August is running out of time.
Octavia prayed, hoping that somehow the message would be heard.